morning friends, welcome to the next session, session number 3. The topic is percentages. In this session we will discuss number of things starting from the meaning of the term percentage, basic application, calculating of percentage, use of standard shortcuts, successive percentage as well as percentage points with some examples so that you will get a clear understanding about the concept of percentage, as well as you will know how to apply the basic principle of percentage in solving the questions of mathematics. As you know, in every competitive exam, percentage plays a very important role. Either it is exam of CAT, banking, SSC. In every exam, number of questions are asked from this topic of percentages. In the exam of CAT at the banking, you have topic data interpretation. The whole data interpretation is based on this concept of percentage. Let us start with the session of percentage. I hope you will enjoy the topic. Now, before starting with the concept, first of all, there is a need to understand why this concept came into picture, why this concept started. We can start with an example. Suppose there are two persons, one is A and one is B. In an exam, A gets 45 marks and B gets 80 marks. As you already know, life may first time when you seen the percentage, I think you seen the percentage in marks. Suppose A has got 45 marks and B has got 80 marks. Now if we have to comment on between these two persons who is good, so our basic answer is, obvious answer is A, our obvious answer is B. Why B? Because B is getting 80 marks and A is getting 45 marks. So we can say out of these two persons, B seems to be good. But when I say A has got 45 marks out of 50 and B got 80 marks out of 100, then our perception will be changed. Why? Because if you have to make a comparison between 45 and 80, so first of all there is a need to make their base to be same. Means I have to make marks of A out of 100, then A gets 90 marks and B gets 80 marks. It means performance of A is good. What percentage helps us? Percentage makes everything out of 100, means it makes comparison possible. Whenever we have to make a comparison between two or more quantities on different bases, so we take their base to be 100, and once their base is 100, we can easily make a comparison. It means if it is stated that A has got 90% marks and B has got 80% marks, it nowhere matters what is the maximum marks of the paper. We are just concerned with the relative performance of A and B. A is good than, A is better than B. As we know from the meaning, we have understood that percentage makes comparison possible. So we have two numbers A and B. Suppose A gets 120 and B gets 150. There are two numbers A and B. A is 120 and B is 150. We have to make a comparison between A and B. There are 6 types of comparisons can be made. We start with one by one. First one is A is what percentage of B? or how much percentage of B. Second one is B is how much percentage of A. Third one is B is how much percentage more than A. Fourth one is A is how much percent less than B. Fifth one is by what percent A should be increased so that it becomes equal to B. And sixth one is by what percentage B should be decreased so that it becomes equal to A. Between these two numbers, these 6 type of comparisons can be made. Now we try to understand these comparisons one by one. First, before starting with answering these questions, I would like to tell you what is the basic way to find percentage. I hope everybody knows this. You put a number in numerator and one number in denominator into 100. But there is a need to understand what should be in the numerator and what should be in the denominator. What we compare, that must be written in numerator, and to whom we compare, that must be written in denominator. For example, we start with the first question. A is what percentage of B? What I am comparing? I am comparing A. To whom I am comparing it with? B. It means A must come in numerator, B must be in denominator into 100, and my answer is equal to 80%. For the second question, my statement is B is what percentage of A. Now my concept will be changed. I am comparing B with A. It means B will come in numerator and A in denominator into 100, and I have to solve it. That would be 26, 25, 6, 25, and answer is equal to 125%. After this, third statement is B is how much percent more than A. So what you have to compare? More. How much is more? 30. Now I have to find to whom I am comparing. I am comparing it with A. It means my denominator must be A. 120 into 100. Just find out. Your answer is 25%. For the question number 4, A is how much percent less than B. Now how much less? 30. I am comparing it with B. What is the value of B? 150. 30 upon 150 into 100. Answer is equal to 20% less. Statement number 5. By what percent A should be increased? It means I have to make a change in A. My base would be A. It should be 120. How much it should be increased? Because A is 120 and B is 150. It should be increased by 30. 30 upon 120 into 100. Answer is equal to 25%. Statement number 6. By what percent B should be decreased? What is the quantity to be decreased? 30. And the decrease has to be made in A. The decrease has to be made in B. What is the value of B? 150. 30 upon 150 into 100. Answer is equal to 20%. Again, have a look of these questions. These are 6 basic questions of percentages. Whenever 2 quantities are given to you, and if you have to make a comparison between these 2 quantities, comparison can be made in this way. What you are going to compare, that comes in numerator, and to whom you are comparing, that comes in denominator into 100. One by one we make a comparison. So we have to just understand from the statement what we are comparing and to whom we are comparing. We can easily find out the percentages. The whole concept of percentages is based on these 6 elementary questions, and in data interpretation, whatever statement you find from the topic of percentage, that could be answered by using these 6 type of statements. I hope this point is clear to you. Suppose with the uses of this point, we can solve some elementary questions of percentages. Just have a look over the statement. It is given to you that if A is 25% more than B, you have to find out B is how much percent less than A. What the question is? It is given to you that A is 25% more than B, and you have to answer B is how much percent less than B. Questions like this, most of the student answer is 25%, but that is always wrong. Why? Just try to have a look. A is 25% more than B. If I assume B to be 100, then the value of A is equal to 125, because A is 25% more than B. What the question is? B is how much percentage less than A? So I will just make a comparison. How much is less? 25. And to whom it is less than A, my denominator must come 125 into 100. 20 will go on 5. Answer is equal to 20%. Now what's your answer now? If you say A is 25% greater than B, so you can say that B is 20% less than A. It means that basic principle that we have understood, what we have compared, B is how much less. How much less is 25. To whom it is less? It is less than A, 125. 25 upon 125 into 100, just make a comparison and you find your answer is 20%. So that is the introductory to the percentage. In the next portion, we try to understand, this is part 2 of this topic. In this, we try to understand the calculations of percentage. Before starting with the questions, I start with a problem to you. You have to find 37.5% of 266.66% of 240. Question is, you have to find 37.5% of 266.66% of 240. In general, if you have to answer any question based on this, what you generally do, you make it as 37.5 upon 100 into 266.66 divided by 100 into 240, and then you divide and multiply, and finally you get your answer. Right? Now, after understanding the calculation topic, you can easily answer these type of questions without so much multiplication or division. So first I explain you the topic, and after that we try to answer it. As you know, 100% equal to 100 upon 100. This is equal to 1. In the same sense, we can say 1 by 2 equals to 50%, 1 by 3, 33.33%, 1 upon 4, 25%, 1 upon 5, 20%, 1 upon 6, 16.66%, 1 upon 7, 14.28%, 1 upon 8, 12.5%, 1 upon 9, 11.11%, 1 upon 10, 10%, 1 upon 11, 9.09%, 1 upon 12, 8.33%, 1 upon 13, 7.69%, 1 upon 14, 7.14%, 1 upon 15, 6.66%, 1 upon 16 is 6.25%. Right? These are some basic percentage calculating fractions starting from 1 to 1 upon 16. Apart from this, we have some more standard percentage fractions. For example, 1 by 3 is 33.33%, 2 by 3 equals to 66.66%, 1 by 4 is 25%, 3 by 4 is equal to 75%, 1 by 6 is 16.66%, so we can say 5 by 6 equals to 83.33%, 1 upon 8 is 12.5%, so we can say 3 upon 8 is 37.5%, 5 upon 8 62.5%, 7 upon 8 87.5%. In the similar line, 1 upon 9 is 11.11%. We can infer out of this 2 upon 9 22.22%, 4 upon 9 44.44%, 5 upon 9 55.55%. Idea is very simple. That fraction 1 to 1 upon 16 percentages that we have stated here, these are some basic percentages that is being asked in solving number of questions. A number of places in the question you find that you have to find 37.5% of 800. You can directly make it 3 by 8 into 800, answer is equal to 300. Right? So what is expected from your side? Cram 1 to 1 upon 16 as a fraction as well as their percentages. Also some standard values 2 by 3, 3 by 4, 5 by 6, 3 by 8, 5 by 8, 7 by 8. Now we understand how and where to use these type of percentages. For example, if I ask you, you have to find the value of 137.5% of 266.66% of 240. That is our statement. We just start with answering it. 137.5%. As we know, 37.5%, this is equal to 3 upon 8. We have 137.5%. This 137.5% can be taken as 100 plus 37.5. That you have to do in your mind. So you can make it as 1 plus 3 upon 8. This is 11 upon 8. So we can say 137.5% as a fraction is taken as 11 upon 8. 266.66, in your mind you can think of 200 plus 66.66, 2 plus 2 by 3, or you can make it as 8 by 3. And you have to find 240, the answer will be taken as 11 upon 8 into 8 upon 3 into 240, it will be cancelled out, 3 will go on 80, 11 into 80, answer is said to be 880, it becomes your answer. Getting got the idea? The concept is very simple. What is expected from your side? Remember all the fractions. As a question comes before your mind, as a question comes before you, try to apply this concept. When it is more than 100, so just you can say 100 is 1, 200 is 2, 300 is 3, 400% is 4. Add with the fraction and answer your question. Right? So So that is the second part that deals with calculation of percentages. After this, we will work over two basic formulas that deals with the concept of percentage increase and percentage decrease. For example, there is a number A which is equal to 200. You have to increase A by 20%. You have to increase A by 20%. So how you can answer it? You will simply make it find 20% of 200. This will give you 40, and then add 40 plus 200. Answer is equal to 240. That's your answer. Means if you have to make an increase of 20% in 200, first you find 20% of 200, that will be 40, then add 200 plus 40, answer is 240. We can do it directly. How? Suppose the number is A, you have to increase the number by R%, and you have to find the increased value. How to find the increased value? You can make it as A into 100 plus R divided by 100. That becomes your answer. In this question, you have to increase the number by 20%. You simply make it as 200 into 120 divided by 100. It will go to 120 into 2. Answer is 240. That is the answer. I hope the concept is clear. If there is an increase, we apply A into 100 plus R into 100. If there is decrease, suppose A have to decrease by R%. Suppose A has to be decreased by R%. So what we will do? A into 100 minus R divided by 100. That becomes our answer. So we have taken two formulas. First is for R% increase, second for R% decrease. This would be taken as A into 100 plus R upon 100, and the second one is R% decrease. We can take it as A into 100 minus R upon 100. These two formulas can be also applied at the same time in a same question. Suppose there is a number A. First, it has to be increased by X%. Then it has to be further increased by Y%. Then it has to be decreased by Z%. That symbol is for increase, upside arrow, and for downside arrow, that is decrease. So you can take it as A into 100 plus X divide 100 into 100 plus Y divide 100 into 100 minus Z divide by 100. That's your answer. If you have to make X% increase, then Y% increase, then Z% decrease, your answer would be A into 100 plus X into 100 into 100 plus Y into 100 into 100 minus Z into 100. These questions are asked in the concept of population. For example, it is given that population of a city in the year 2000 was 5 lakhs. In the next year, in 2001, there was an increase of 20% in the population. In 2002, there was a decrease of 30% in the population. So you have to find the population at the end of 2002. That was the statement. Now what you can do in this question? Initial population was 5 lakh. First year there was an increase of 20%. You can make it as 100 plus X by 100. So I can take it as 120 divided by 100. In the second year there is a decrease of 30%. You make it as 100 minus 30 by 100. Now just solve it. That would be taken as 420 upon 100, or you can say your answer is said to be 4.2 lakhs. It becomes your answer. I think the idea is clear. That formula simply talks about whenever we have to make percentage increase or percentage decrease, same could be made in such a way: A into 100 plus R into 100, A into 100 minus R divided by 100. And if in a question that is more than once increase or decrease we have to apply at the same time, so we can use this A into 100 plus X by 100 into 100 plus Y by 100 into 100 minus Z by 100. Now we have got a clear understanding about percentages, what exactly is the percentages. Before going further, we try to solve some of the basic questions so that we will get more understanding about this concept. So I am going to start with questions one by one and we try to solve it. Just try to understand. We can start with example number 1. It is given that in a class 40% are boys, right? Then it is mentioned that 30% of boys and 20% of girls, they failed. In the answer, you have to find out what is the overall pass percentage of the class. Answer में क्या find करना है? What is the overall passing percentage of the class? So how you can go for these questions? Just try to have a look over the question. Everywhere percentage is given, and answer has to be also find on the terms of percentage. So what you can go for? How you can answer it? Suppose there are 100 students in a class. 40% are boys. It means boys are 40. So we can say girls are 60. 30% of the boys, that is 12, they fail. How much pass? 28 will be pass. Similarly, girls, 20% of the girls fail. How much girls fail? 12. And how much girls pass? 48. Now I have to find the pass percentage of the class. It means total student who passed divided by total number of students into 100. So how much student passed? Boys passed 28 and girls passed 48. So I will make an addition of this. The sum is 76. What is the total student? 100. So our answer is equal to 76%. So that is the passing percentage of the class. So what this statement talks about? Everywhere we are using percentages, it means while answering the question, we take our total value to be 100, and based on this, we have to answer our statement. We will take one more example. It is given that a student gets 30% of marks and he is failed by 10 marks. If he gets 35% of marks, he gets 5 marks more than passing marks. If he gets 35% of the marks, he gets 5 marks more than passing marks. In the answer, what you are supposed to answer, you have to find out what is the maximum marks of the class, what is the passing percentage, and what is the passing marks. The three things you have to answer it. The first one is you have to find maximum marks of the class. Second thing, passing percentage, and third thing, passing marks. Just have a look over the question and try to answer it. When you have to answer question of this type, we have two approaches for answering. The first is, let us assume that the maximum marks are X. When he gets 30%, it means he gets X into 30 by 100 and is failed by 10 marks. Means when we add 10 here, that is the passing marks. In the second case, he gets 35% of the marks, X into 35 by 100. He gets 5 marks more than the passing marks. If I subtract 5 here, he will be just pass. So this is passing marks and this is passing marks. We can make a comparison between these two and we can answer it. 5 will come here, 15. This will come here and subtract 5x upon 100. X equals to 300. So we can say the maximum marks of the paper will be 300. We have to find the passing percentage and passing marks. That is the passing marks. Put X equal to 300. 90 plus 10. Passing marks are equal to 100. And if you have to find passing percentages out of 300, my passing marks are 100, so I can say this is equal to 33.33%. So that's the first method, that is known as equation method. We can also answer this question by small structure. Means when he gets 30% of the marks, he is failed by 10 marks. Means that he gets 10 marks less. In the second case, when he gets 35% of the marks, he gets 5 marks more. What is the difference in the percentage? 5%. What is the difference in absolute value? First he was 10 marks less, now he is 5 marks more. It means this is equal to 15. So we can say 5% would be taken as 15. We have to find the maximum marks, this is 100%. 100% is taken as 300. So we can say the maximum marks is 300. That is the value of X that we have found by using this equation, or we can directly answer it by such way. The maximum marks is 300, then we can find our passing marks as well as we can find the passing percentage. I hope the idea is clear to you. We can take one more example in order to better understand this concept. If price of mango decreases by 20%, it enables the buyer to buy 10 mangoes more for rupees 100. We have to find what is the initial price per mango. Question is, what is the initial price per mango? Now have a look over this question. The price of mango decreases by 20%. It enables a buyer to buy 10 mangoes more for rupees 100. Based on this, we have to find what is the initial price of the mango. We have two types of approaches in order to answer this question. Suppose initial price was X. It was decreased by 20%. It means it has become 4 by 5x. That is my initial price, that is my decreased price. In the first case, we spent rupees 100 and my initial price was X per mango. So this is number of mangoes. this is the total expenditure, this is price per mango. When I divide 100 by x, I get total number of mangoes. In the second case, I have to spend rupees 100 and the decreased price is 4 by 5x. So that is my number of mangoes when the price was x. That is the number of mangoes when price was 4 by 5x. This quantity is 10 more than this one. So if I subtract 10 here, both are equal. And after solving this equation, we have to find x. So we have to solve it. 4 will go on 25, 5 will come outside. We can take it as 100 by x equal to 125 by x minus 10. Or I can say 25 by x equal to 10 or x equal to rupees 2.5. So we can say the price per mango is rupees 2.5. We may have a different approach for answering this question. The price decreases by 20%. It means the number of mangoes that we buy in 100 rupees earlier, now for the same quantity we have to spend rupees 80. Earlier, if we spend rupees 100 in buying some mangoes, now for getting the same quantity we have to spend rupees 80. What is the change in money? 20 rupees. And because of that change, we are in a position to buy 10 mangoes more. It means we can say that the decreased price of the mango is equal to rupees 2 per mango. The decreased price of the mango is rupees 2 per mango, right? And this 4 by 5x. That is the decreased price. I have to find initial price. So I can say 4 by 5x was decreased price. This is equal to 2. My initial price will become 2.5 rupees. That becomes my answer. Just try to understand it again. Suppose earlier you have to spend rupees 100. After a decrease of 20%, now for buying the same quantity, you have to spend rupees 80. It means how much money you are spending less? 20. And in this 20 rupees, you are getting you are getting additional 10 more mangoes. So we can say one mango costs rupees 2, but that 2 rupees is the decreased price of the mango. But in the question, we are expected to find the initial price. So we can say 4 by 5x equal to 2, x will be equal to rupees 2.5. That becomes our answer. I hope the concept is clear. Next we have questions based on expenditures and income. Expenditures and income. As we know that income minus expenditure is equal to savings. We know that income minus expenditure is equal to saving. For example, if I say if ratio of income is to expenditure is 3:2. The ratio of income and expenditure of a person is 3:2. Then it states you that in the next year, income increases by 20% and expenditure decreases by 30%. So we have to find out what is the percentage change in savings. What the question is, it is given that income increases by 20%, expenditure decreases by 30%. We have to find percentage change in savings. When we look over this question, everywhere we are using percentage, no absolute value is involved. It simply means when we have to answer this question, so we will assume the income and expenditure to be 3 and 2. So I can say my savings is equal to 1. Income is 3 and expenditure is 2, so I can say the savings is equal to 1. Next year, income increases by 20%. So we know that 20% of 3 is 0.6, so my income becomes 3.6. Expenditure decreases by 30%. 30% too is also 0.6, but that is decreased. So I can say my expenditure is 1.4. Now my saving becomes 2.2. I have to find the ratio. So 1 ratio 2.2. So 1 is to 22 by 10. So we can say 10 ratio 22, or answer is 5 ratio 11. That becomes our answer. So we can say that the ratio of income and expenditure, we can say that the ratio of savings is 5 ratio 11. If we have to find the ratio of the saving, that becomes 5 ratio 11. On the other hand, in this question we have to find percentage change in savings. So I can say, what is the change? 1.2. My original value was 1 into 100. The answer is said to be percentage change is 120%. That becomes our answer. Right? Now we have two standard formulas. Number of questions are asked over this. Although these questions you can answer with the earlier concept that I have explained you, the 6 questions. But in a number of places these standard shortcut formulas are also used. For example, it is given that A is 20% more than B. You have to answer B is how much percent less than A. It is given that if A is 20% more than B, you have to answer B is how much percent less than A. So one approach you can apply, suppose B is 100, A become 120, then B is how much percent less than A. How much is less? 20. From which it is less? A. 120 into 100. So answer is said to be 16.66% less. That's your answer. Or we have a standard formula. If in any question it is given that A is R percent more than B. A is R percent more than B, and we have to answer B is how much percentage less than A. So we can directly answer it R divided by 100 plus R into 100. What we can apply? R upon 100 plus R into 100. This is 20%. So we can take it as 20 upon 120 into 100. Answer is equal to 16.66%. Right? Similarly, if instead of increase, decrease is given, A is 20% less than B, we have to find out B is how much percent more than A. Right? So for that, we can take it as if it is R percent less than B, B is how much percentage more than A. You can directly apply R upon 100 minus R into 100. You can use this formula, or in the similar way, you can assume B to be 100, A becomes 80. B is how much percentage more than A? 20. From which you are comparing with A into 100. The answer is equal to 25%. Or if you put R equal to 20 here, you will get the same value, that is equal to 25%. Right? So that is a standard concept in which we use these two formulas. First one is R divided by 100 plus R into 100, and the second one is R upon 100 minus R into 100. Now after this we have the next point number 6. The concept is known as successive percentage change and its application. Just try to understand it and then we will answer it. For example, one number is given as 100. It is given that first it is increased by 20%, then it is further increased by 30%. There is one number A, first it is increased by 20%, then it is further increased by 30%. Two increases are given. We have to find out what is the total percentage increase, a total percentage change. Right? So first approach states take 100, find the value 120 upon 100 into 130 upon 100. When you solve it, you find it as 156. Means earlier your number was 100 and now it becomes 156. What is the overall percentage change? 56%. So your answer becomes equal to 56%. I think you got the idea? And you will be surprised to know if instead of 100, if there is 200 and first it increases by 20%, then it increases by 30%. And you have to find what is the total percentage change. What you will do, you find the number in the similar way, 200 into 120 upon 100 into 130 upon 100. This becomes equal to 312. From 200 to it becomes equal to 312 and the percentage change is equal to 56%. That simply states us that value does not matter, either it is 100 or 200 or it may be X or Y. If the percentage increase or decrease is given to you same, the overall percentage change would be same. So we have a very standard shortcut formula whenever we have to find the percentage change. This formula is taken as A plus B plus A into B divided by 100. A plus B plus A into B divided by 100. If at any place there is a decrease, we take it as negative. If there is a decrease, we take it as a negative value. For example, A first increased by 20%, then increased by 30%. We have to find the overall percentage increase. The answer is 20 plus 30 plus 20 into 30 divided by 100. 20 plus 30 50 plus 6, answer is equal to 56%. It becomes the answer. Just have a look over this formula. This formula is used when a number is successively changed by few percentages. In that case, you can apply this formula A plus B plus AB divided by 100. If there is an increase, sign to be positive. If there is a decrease, sign to be negative. So in this question, we have 20% increase, then we have 30% increase. We can say 20 plus 30 plus 20 into 30 divided 100. 50 plus 6, answer is said to be 56%. We try to understand this concept with some more examples. Suppose there is a number A. First it has to be increased by 30%, then decreased by 20%. First there is an increase, above arrow symbol increase and down arrow symbol is decrease. So you have to find out what is the overall percentage change. So if we directly apply this formula, 30 decrease, it should be negative, minus 20, then plus AB. This is positive, this is negative, this becomes negative. 20 into 30 divided by 100, this would be taken as 10 minus 6, 4. It is positive, so we can say 4% increase. Understand one more question. There is a number A. First it decreases by 30%, then it further decreases by 20%. You have to find out what is the overall percentage change. In this question, at both places we are taking as decrease. So we take it as minus 30, minus 20, and now two negative values will be multiplied. It becomes positive. 20 into 30 divided by 100. So this will be taken as minus 50 plus 6 minus 44. We can say there is a decrease of 44%. So answer is 44% decrease. I think the idea is clear. These questions that we have understood, in these questions we are taking two successive percentage change, either increase or decrease, or one increase or one decrease. Now sometime you will find the percentage changes are more than 2, that are 3. For example, there is a one number A, first it increases by 20%, then it decreases by 30%, then it further increases by 10%. We have to find out what is the overall percentage change. Now, if we want to apply this formula, we have two approaches here. The first approach states combine these two by the formula 20 minus 30 minus 20 into 30 upon 100. So I can say minus 10 minus 6 minus 16. Now combine this 10 with this minus 16. With the same formula, we will make it as minus 16. It was increase plus 10 minus 16 into 10 divided by 100. So we can say minus 6 minus 1.6 minus 7.6. So answer is 7.6% decrease. That's your answer. What we have understood means in a number, if there is a percentage change for more than once, it may be thrice, it may be 4 times, so we solve it step by step. First we take these two values, answer is minus 16, means there is 16% decrease. Then we take this 10%, it means 10% increase, we take it as minus 16 plus 10, minus 16 into 10 by 100, we can solve it 7.6% decrease. Or we have a standard formula here, means A percent change, then B percent change, then C percent change. Means in a number, if 3 successive percentages are changed, so we can use this formula A plus B plus C plus AB plus BC plus CA upon 100 plus ABC upon 10,000. You have to just put your values. If there is an increase, put the plus sign. If there is a decrease, put the negative sign. And at least you can find out what is the overall percentage change. Sometime it is given to you that means there is a number A. First it increases by 20%, then it decreases by 20%. There is a number A. First it increases by 20%, then it decreases by 20%, and the question is, what is the percentage change? So we can apply this 20 minus 20 minus 20 into 20 upon 100. So I can say minus 4, it means there is a decrease of 4% decrease. Don't answer it 0%, we cannot say it. Why? Because first 20 minus 20 minus 20 into 20 by 100, we are getting minus 4, that is 4% decrease. Now the important part is we have to understand the application part of this. That is an understanding about the concept of successive percentage change. But we have to understand the application part. Just try to understand here. You all know that area of a rectangle. We can say that area of a rectangle is always equal to length into breadth. if it is given that length of the rectangle increases by 20% and breadth of the rectangle increases by 30%. Suppose one rectangle is given, length of the rectangle increases by 20% and breadth of the rectangle increases by 30%. You have to find out what is the overall percentage change in area. We have to find out what is the percentage change in area. So if you have to answer this question, some approaches you can apply. You can assume your length to be 100 and breadth to be 100. So area will be taken as 10,000, or you can take it as x and y. Area would be taken as x into y. Then it states you length increases by 20%. It becomes 120. Breadth becomes 130. New area becomes 15600. Or when you go with x and y, so this becomes 1.2x, this becomes 1.3y, and overall area becomes 1.56xy. Right? We have to find out percentage change. Here my area becomes from 10,000 to 15,600. Percentage change is equal to 5,600 divided by 10,000 into 100. Answer is equal to 56%. In this case, we can say it was xy and now it had become 1.56xy. What is the change? 0.56xy upon xy into 100. Our answer is equal to 56%. Right? But if we just look at this question, we can also apply the concept of successive percentage here. How? This increased by 20%, this by 30%. We have to find overall percentage change. Make it 20 plus 30 plus 20 into 30 upon 100. You will get it as 56%. So what concept we can infer from this question, and then we try to apply that concept over some other type of questions. Just try to understand this. What the concept talks about. Suppose some parameters are multiplied. That may be length into breadth, area, or we can take area of a square, side into side. If first increases by, first percentage change is A%, in the second percentage change is B%, or there will be a third part, it is C%. So if you have to find overall percentage change in A, you have to find what is the overall percentage change. For finding the overall percentage change, you can apply the same formula A plus B plus AB divided by 100. Right? For example, if I say if side of a square increases by 30%, side of a square increases by 30%, I have to find what is percentage increase in area. Now what I can say, square area is side into side, means this is 30%, this is 30% increased. So we have to find the overall percentage change. So what we will apply? 30 plus 30 plus 30 into 30 upon 100. 60 plus 9, answer is equal to 69%. I think got the idea? 30 plus 30 plus 30 into 30 by 100. Why we have taken it? Because area is side into side. If multiplication is there, in that case, you can apply the concept of successive percentage change. So I am going to explain some more methods. I am going to explain some more areas where you use it. Area of a circle, pi into r, pi is constant, it does not affect. So suppose if I say radius increases by 20%, This by 20, this by 20, overall percentage change would be 20 plus 20 plus 20 into 20 upon 100. So we can say our answer is equal to 44%. Volume of a cube, A cube, that is A into A into A. Volume of a cuboid, length into breadth into height, or we can say expenditure is equal to price into quantity purchased. Total revenue, price of a ticket into number of tickets sold, means at any place where two or more quantities are multiplied and percentage change in those quantities are given, and we have to find the overall percentage change. At all these questions we use this approach A plus B plus AB by 100. If there is increase, take the sign to be positive as I stated you earlier, and if there is a decrease, make the sign negative and just answer your question. There is one more application of this. For example, if I say if length of rectangle increases by 20% but area remains same, find percentage change in breadth. What is given to you? If length of a rectangle increases by 20% but area remains the same, so you have to find out what is the percentage change in breadth. We know that area equal to L into B. Length increases by 20%, area remains same. Same means change in area is 0%. We will assume that change in breadth is x%. So I can apply this 0 equal to 20 plus x plus 20 into x divide 100. This would be minus 20 equal to 6x by 5, and when you solve it, x is equal to minus 100 upon 6, or we can say minus 16.66%, or there is a decrease of 16.66%. That becomes your answer. How you can answer it? Assume length and breadth, area is this. It is given that length increased by 20%. So I can say this is 20% increase positive. Area remains same, means no change in area, 0%. I have to find percentage change in breadth. I will simply take it as 1. If in the last I will get a positive value, it means it is increased. If I get a negative value, it means it is increase. What we have done, we have just solved it, and in the last I got it x equal to minus 16.66%. It means there is a decrease of 16.66%. Here we can use one standard formula also that we have earlier used in a question. When two or more quantities are multiplied, if any quantity increased by r%, that should be increased, and total must remain same, means no change, and we have to find out percentage change in third one, that is in breadth, so that everyone can understand. If it is increased, total remains the same, it means it must be decreased, and by what percentage it is decreased? This is equal to r upon 100 plus r into 100. So in this question, what you can say? Length increases by 20%. So you can apply this. You can say 20 upon 120 into 100. This will give you, there is a decrease of 16.66%. Means nothing have to be applied. You can just directly put this formula and you can answer it. Similarly, if in place of increase, if it is given that there is decrease of 20% or there is decrease of R%, overall will remain same. That means third quantity will increase and you have to find what is the percentage increase. Your formula will be changed. Here in the place of plus R you have to make it minus R. It should be R divided by 100 minus R into 100. That becomes your answer. So what you can say in this question, it is given that length decreases by 20%. So you make it as 20 upon 80 into 100, 1 by 4. The answer is said to be 25%. So you can say your breadth must increase by 20% so that the total area will remain the same. So these two formulas are quite important for you, that you already know. In earlier questions also we have used it. R upon 100 plus R into 100 means when increase is given, you have to find the decrease. On the other hand, when decrease is given and you have to find the increase, you apply this formula R divided by 100 minus R into 100. We may have a look over one more question. That's a very standard statement. If price of kerosene oil increases by 20%. Price of kerosene oil increases by 20%. By what percentage consumption should be decreased? By what percentage consumption should be decreased so that overall expenditure remains the same? So that overall expenditure remains same. That's our question. It means, what we can think of, price into consumption, that is always equal to total expenditure. It is given that price increases by 20%. It is increased 20%. Overall expenditure remains same, means no change. So you have to find percentage change in consumption. Just apply direct formula R upon 100 plus R into 100 and just put here 20 upon 120 into 100 and you will find your answer is 16.66% decrease. That becomes your answer. I hope the concept is clear to you now. This concept is known as percentage change. This concept can be applied whenever some numbers are multiplied, generally 2 or it may be 3, and you have to find overall percentage change or you have to find percentage change in any of the quantity. So by applying this formula, you can find out what is the percentage change. Now we are being left with one or two more points in this topic of percentages. In this we use a term that is known as percentage points. We use a term which is known as percentage point. Percentage point is an absolute quantity. Percentage point is absolute quantity. Have a look over this. Suppose 20% is a number. Suppose one quantity is 20%. We have to make an increase of 10% in it. 10% increase. So what I am going to do, I will make it. First I will find out 10% of 20%. This will be 2%. And my overall increase would be 2. Answer is 20. Answer will be 12%. Suppose my number is 20%, sorry, it would be 22%. Why? Because it is 20%. My percentage is 20%. I have to make increase of 10%. So I will just find out 10% of 22%. 20 plus 2, answer is 22%. But on the other hand, if it is given that number is 20%, it is increased by 10 percentage points. It is increased by 10% point, then it becomes equal to 30%. Why? Because percent point is an absolute quantity. That any question wherever there is named as percentage point increase, make it plus. If there is stated as percentage point decrease, you have to make it minus. I think the point is clear now. In any question, when we say percentage point, it means we have to directly add it. Increase in the case of increase. In the case of decrease, we have to directly subtract it. Otherwise, we just find a percentage and add as per to the addition. And if there is a decrease, we will subtract. Sometimes we use the term appreciation or depreciation. Appreciation means increase or depreciation means decrease. For example, it is given that a machine was purchased for rupees 5 lakh. Every year value decreases by, value depreciated by 20%. We have to find what will be the value of the machine after 3 years. We have to find what will be the value of the machines after 3 years. That simply means depreciated means decrease. So I will make it as 5 lakh. For the first year, 100 minus 20 upon 100. For the second year also, 100 minus 20 upon 100. For the third year also, 100 minus 20 upon 100. What we can say now? 5 into 80 upon 100 into 80 upon 100 into 80 upon 100. After solving this, we can make it as 4 by 5. This would be 4 by 5. This would be 4 by 5. That will be cancelled out. So would be taken as 64 divided by 25. I can easily solve it. 25 will go on 2. That will be 50. Then we have the remainder is 14. Then I will take point 140. 25 will go on 5. 125 then 6. So I can say value of the machine would be 2.56 lakhs after 3 years. On the other hand, if in case of increase, if it is in the case of depreciated, if it is appreciated, then where we have made 100 minus 20 by 80, so we will make it as 100 plus 20 by 80 means 120 by 100 into 120 by 100 into 120 by 100, and after solving this we get our answer. I think the point is clear to you now. What is the meaning of appreciation? It means increase, and what is the meaning of depreciation? It means decreased. Right? So this is a complete concept about percentages. After understanding of this, you can try with the questions. When you solve it, before solving the questions, first of all, you must have a look about these concepts so that you are in a position to answer accurately. Thank you very much.